Okay, thank you for coming back. I get to reintroduce my mentor, my friend, my go-to guy. Um, he has helped me so much. And one of the things I'll just mention now is that I read the prophecy of Crazy Horse, 40 years ago, and I and then I read it. I think Kenneth told me about it again, so I decided to revisit that, and I had just a real connection with that. And I talked to him about it. It might have been even on the phone, and I don't remember how this happened. But anyway, he told me. He said, I told him I had a connection with Crazy Horse in the prophecy, because I looked at it and it was just so amazing to me because it was so much in depth. It was only 7 sentences long. And I'm telling you, it must be divinely inspired because read it. Go on Google. Go on Google, Crazy Horse, it's prophecy. And so I asked him, what should I do with that? And he told me to pray. He said, pray on that. Keep praying on it and keep praying on it. And so I did. And then what happened was that I read it and then I could understand the love that Crazy Horse was trying to communicate to me. Because he talks about light. And if you interchange the word light with love, it fits. It fits right in. And then I understood Crazy Horse to be a great, not only, well, they said he was this great warrior. I'm sure he was. He was like Wyatt Earp, but I don't think he ever got wounded. And it was just, my connection with Crazy Horse was just amazing. And that's just one of the things that he's brought to me. He's brought so much wisdom to me. And so I'd like to reintroduce to you such a very beautiful, beautiful man. And get a chance to talk to him. You'll find out what I have, and that he is he's a holy man. That's why I had to introduce him, because I know that he was not going to say that about himself. But it's my pleasure to introduce my mentor, my go-to guy, one of my best friends in the whole world, Mr. Kenneth G. White, Jr., one of our leaders within the Warrior Spirit family.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. And it's probably a good time for us all to renew ourselves for Indigenous social work. And I just want to say, I'll introduce myself in Navajo the proper way. She'eya Kenneth G. White Jr. and She Sanji Kenneth and Shlon. Tortsovni Bushes Chin Klashi Ada Shache. And I prepared all this here, but I was watching these little babies. Oh boy. That's us. That's our generation. And I retired a couple of years ago. I just sit in my office and write and watch the birds and the squirrels and the chipmunks and all the animals in our forest come around our house during the day. But I have to read this. I'm going to go off script here. It's for these little babies here. It's called Our Dear Children. What do our dear children mean to me? They are our future generation. They are our hopes and dreams. They are our destiny. That is what our dear children mean to me. What do our dear children mean to me? They will carry on the clanship, the language, the history. They are our future leaders. They are blessed and born with balance and harmony. That's what our dear children mean to me. What do our dear children mean to me? They are innocent in this racist society. They will heal trauma. They are our remedy. That is what our dear children mean to me. What do our dear children mean to me? See that little one sitting right at their desk? That child may be the next president of our tribe during our time of need. That is what our dear children mean to me. Look at their beautiful smiles. Enjoy their laughter. Be their friend, confidant, and mentor. They are filled with love, God-given gifts, and spirituality. That is what our dear children mean to me. Just like Martin Luther King, Annie Juanica, John F. Kennedy, one of our children is going to make history. That is what our dear children mean to me. Like Manuelito, Barboncito, White Shell Woman, and our deities, these dear children are our protectors, our indigenous legacy. That's what our dear children mean to me. My dear dad used to say, there are two things no one can ever take away from you: your education and your personal relationship with God. As a child, dear God, let me achieve this prophecy. That's what our dear children mean to me. Hold them close to your heart. Our dear children and God are only a prayer apart. Give them all your love to the highest degree. That is what our dear children mean to me. Do not judge them, love them. Do not scold them, teach them. Each one is unique and one of a kind, happy, innocent, healthy, and free. That is what our dear children mean to me. They deserve every opportunity. They want you to listen to them. They will surprise you with the truth. Oh, how insightful a child can be. That is what our dear children mean to me. Love me for who I am, not for what you think me to be. Love me like my ancestors and elders who are praying for me eternally. That is what our dear children mean to me. Dear teacher, did you know you are the only sober person saving me from strife? Alcohol, drugs at home are a cruel way of life. I feel safe here at school with just you and me. That is what our dear children mean to me. Look around you at reality. 70,000 dear innocent children are in cage. 70,000 dear innocent children are in cages today, taken from their mom and dad. It breaks my heart. I shed tears and pray for them to be free. That is what our children mean to me. Love me, hold me, keep that alcohol and drugs far away from me. Teach me about Creator, how to pray, and I will be okay. Connect me to God Almighty, please. That is what our dear children mean to me. I may be adopted, have no parents, or come from a broken home, but if you love me, I will not be alone. I am crying out to you. I just need a hand to hold and sincere empathy. That is what our dear children mean to me. I may live among trauma, addiction, and poverty, but if you give me a chance, I will succeed. Just give me a chance unconditionally. That is what our dear children mean to me. You see, children are the greatest gift from God Almighty. No matter their background or ethnicity, they are more precious than all the world's silver, gold, material goods, and money. They are priceless human treasures. That is what our dear children mean to me. My dear child, may every fiber of your being be protected from any danger, harm, evil, or sickness. May you reach your full potential beyond eternity. That is what our dear children mean to me. our dear children, our dear children, our dear children, our dear children. That is what our children mean to me. I want to say that for these little babies right here. Now I'm going to transition and go to this PowerPoint here. But before we start here, I want to say a little prayer here in the right way that we begin these kind of honorable occasions. So just bear along with me right here. Dear Creator, come to you this afternoon on this beautiful day in San Diego. We stand here on Kumeyaay land here. We acknowledge the ancestors and the elders that lived on this land for thousands of years. We bring all the elements together here in this room. We bring the animal world, our plant world, our Father Sun, our Mother Earth, our ocean, our way of life here as indigenous people. The great Kumeyaay ancestors and elders that brought us forth to today. We honor them, we acknowledge them, we love them. We can try to do something to carry on their wishes and their desires and their legacy for our people, not for ourselves, but for our native people. So make a way for us, dear God. Make a way for us. And all these kind-hearted people here in this room, interested in this field of social work, the compassion, the empathy they love, the love they have to be a social worker, to pursue this education to help the people. You can bless each and every one of them. Their physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, environmental being, their day-to-day studies, their teachers, their family, their extended family, their community. You can bless each one of them, dear God, in a good way, real powerful way here. We can talk from our heart. We can feel the emotion. We can understand ourselves so we can help the people. In this great university here, San Diego State University, you can bless it for being open to hearing what we're going to talk about today. And this fire that was lit this morning, this afternoon, Brother Bobby, and put up that altar. That fire has 12 colors according to Navajo legend. Each color is healing. Those colors that burned here a few hours ago, and those colors are going to heal the people here, San Diego, Kumeyaay Nation. That fire is going to be the power for our Kumeyaay Nation here. It's going to evolve into something beautiful, wonderful, powerful, indigenous. That's what we want here today, dear God. Put all our mind and heart together. Put our souls together. Put our commitment, our passion together to do something in the spirit of indigenous social work, how we understand ourselves. You can help us like that, dear God. Call upon your holy name like that. And this little presentation that I want to give it to the people. I'm going to give it to you. It's yours. I want to share it with you. So I just humble myself before your great presence and power, our Creator. I love you so much. I told you to put me in the place you want me to be. And here I am in front of the great San Diego State University School of Social Work, students and faculty. So thank you so much, dear God. And then my final prayer here is God bless my wife, Gloria, for taking care of me every day. In my health condition, she takes care of me really good. I want to acknowledge her here at San Diego State University. Thank you. Thank you, babe. Taking care of me real good. Brought me here today. I'm just going to try my best, dear Creator. Help me say the right thing. Help me convey the message on your behalf. This is your message. It's not my message, dear God. Call upon your holy name like that. Amen. I wanted to say something here. I entitled this presentation called Watering the Planet Seed of Healing Through Warrior Spirit, Indigenous Wisdom. We had a conference here before at Viejas where about 500 people came. Dr. Pico and the great Kumia leadership, they created that conference in our Warrior Spirit family here. And that's the last time we've been here. And the reason why I said planted seed, that seed of healing has already been planted. It's there already. How do we plant the seed to heal the people? So that's what I wanted to entitle this. Yeah, go for it. This is our home here, Fort Defiance, Arizona. That teepee is my dad's old teepee. We put that teepee up and pray and get the family together. Having prayer meeting tonight in my mom's house. So I'm missing that one. But that's our teepee right there in Fort Defiance, Arizona. Our spiritual home. I learned so many things in that. Grew up in that teepee right there. Go ahead. Let me see the purpose. Usually I have my notes in front of me, but I didn't print it out. The purpose is to define the warrior spirit and indigenous wisdom from a social work perspective, and to motivate social workers, tribes, urban organizations to develop their systems and services from an indigenous perspective. And just to briefly discuss and develop a short and long-range plan among us. Go ahead, sir. This is our home place in White Cone, Arizona. This is looking east. Mom's house is this way. This is the front door looking out Mom's house. Mary Lou White, spiritual leader, said the prayer that reignited the warrior spirit movement to heal historical trauma in September 2018 in White Cone, Arizona. And so such a blessing with that rainbow shining down on our home place. It's really powerful. Very humble, powerful home place. Mom lives about 12 miles off the regular dirt road. She lives on a dirt road, and when it snows and gets muddy, we can't even go see her because of the weather, the roads. But in this case, the spring is coming. We'll get to see Mom more. Okay, go ahead. Now for... Okay, so Mom said the prayer, and she's straight out of White Cone. Okay. Now, this is what we've done. This is our team, not me. This is our team. We started this warrior spirit movement in Gila River Indian community in April 2018. Dr. Pico and Mr. Dennis Alto, that's where I first met them. Then we had the Viejas Band and Kumia Indians Conference in October 18. Then we had the Navajo Nation Conference. Then we had the California Genocide Conference here in San Diego. And now today, Decolonizing Social Work Empowerment Series. So the point is, you're not coming in at a new thing. You're part of the legacy. You're part of the building block. You're part of the movement right now. Okay, this is our team right here. Dr. Pico and Miss Dana Brown with Paces Connection. Of course, everybody knows Tamra. And then Olita. Olita gave my wife a beautiful gift here, right about an hour ago. Beautiful gift. Gave me a gift too. And this guy on the left, my My mom calls us men tag-along. You and your dad was a tag-along. You're a tag-along too, Dad. Okay, so there's a tag-along right there. Okay, go ahead. Now, I'm not going to talk about trauma, real detail, but this is one of the best definitions my co-friend author, famous author, Bonnie Duran. This is what she says it is. Trauma is a spiritual injury, a soul sickness, soul wounding, and ancestral hurt. And so I wanted to put that definition out there for your understanding. Go ahead. Now, I'll tell you real quickly, the Lakota people, those Lakotas up in South Dakota, they're very spiritual people, very spiritual. And the connection to Lakota, my dad made friends with these Lakotas when he was younger. And we grew up with some of the Lakota, they're my brothers and sisters. Tribal connection with them. So those brothers and sisters with Lakota, they taught me a lot of things. They used to come down to Native American church from Pine Ridge, come and sing with the family. Dad would go up there, haul teepee poles, take medicine. That bond was always there. So when I was younger, I didn't know what it was. I just know Grandpa Joe from South Dakota would come and visit us and visit Mom and Dad. But as I got older, I began to look at this crazy horse prophecy, what Dr. Pico had mentioned earlier. And it's very profound. And he says, upon suffering beyond suffering, the red nation shall rise again, and that shall be a blessing for a sick world. A world filled with broken promises, selfishness, and separation. A world longing for light. I see a time of 7 generations when all the colors of mankind will gather under the sacred tree of life, and the whole earth will become one again. In this day, there will be those among the Lakota who will carry knowledge and understanding of unity among all living things, and the young white ones will come to those of my people and ask for this wisdom. I salute the light within you. I salute the light within your eyes where the whole universe dwells. For when you are at that center within you and I am in that place within me, we shall be one. We're one right here today. Go ahead. Now, when people talk about the warrior spirit, people get this weird feeling of them go out and kill somebody and fight somebody and, that decolonized image. But this is the warrior right here. Warriors are not what you think of as warriors. This is from Sitting Bull. The warrior is not someone who fights, because no one has the right to take the life of another. The warrior for us is one who sacrifices himself for the good of others. His task is to take care of the elderly, the defenseless, those who cannot provide for themselves, and above all, the children, the future of humanity. It always goes back to the children. Always goes back to the children. So this is, when I talk about warrior spirit, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about caring, love, empathy, compassion, commitment. And those are your values as social workers. I know they're your values. So let me just ask a question. Somebody answer me. What social work value do you have that you just going to yell out, say, this is what I think my value is? What is it? Passion. Love. Come on. The Indian way. There we go. What else? Empathy. Integrity. What's that? Resilience. Yes, yes. So those are all our values. So when you're social work, blow this up, put it on your wall in your office or in your study room. This is who we are right here. Grandpa told us. This is who we are, Native people. Even though, you have different tribe, I'm Navajo, Grandpa told us, Lakota, respect it. Now, this is my stuff here. We wrote a chapter in a book. We wanted to compare Western knowledge with traditional medicine. My co-author, Tasha Seneca Keys, she's the Indigenous author at Utah State University, University of Utah. She's an Indigenous psychology professor. So we spent about a couple of years writing a chapter in a book. I'll refer to it later. But these are the differences. And the reason why I want to say it to you as social workers, you got to understand the science, but you also got to understand the traditional healing. So I'm just going to compare them. Characteristics of Western knowledge and medicine, traditional knowledge, and healing. Western knowledge is based on science. Traditional healing is based on spirituality. Western science looks from point A to point B, from here to here. And in traditional knowledge, the mindset, the application is circular and holistic. Western knowledge depends on psychology. Tradition depends on the warrior spirit. Western knowledge depends on mental health. Tradition depends on balance and harmony. Western knowledge, evidence-based. Traditional knowledge is unconditionally accepted. Western knowledge is prescribed medication. Traditional knowledge is to prescribe ceremony. Okay, go ahead. Western knowledge is the provider is a professional mental health provider. Traditional knowledge provider is a medicine man or medicine woman. Western knowledge is a money-driven industry. Traditional knowledge is community-driven need and purpose. Western knowledge is evolving mental methods and practices. Traditional knowledge, kumia, centuries-old generational practices. That's what we have as Indian people. When you're a social worker, you're thinking about, your application, how you're going to apply things to yourself, your job, your studies. Think about this. Think about this distinction, differences, empowerment for yourself. Now, I read Crazy Horse, I read Sitting Bull, I contrasted, so I'm going to read you my stuff. This is the warrior spirit. It says, this is how I really feel. All Native Americans have the warrior spirit within themselves. It is a gift from God Almighty. Some people recognize they have it, some don't. Those that do, male or female, are true warriors in Native society. The warrior spirit is a physical, mental, spiritual state of being and way of life. It unconditionally recognizes, honors, and embraces one's Native American essence, identity, and historical and traditional foundation. The warrior spirit is an intrinsic, all-encompassing, embedded character, behavior, and spiritual way of humbling and empowering oneself through the recognition, awareness, and application of self-respect and the prayers and traditions of our ancestors. The warrior spirit is a universal, unwavering duty and responsibility to meet the needs and ensure the wellness of Native people and Mother Earth as defined by the Great Spirit from beginning of time to today and in the future. The warrior spirit never sleeps or rests. It is always awake, vibrant, ready to take on any new challenge. The warrior spirit is righteous and full of grace and power. The warrior spirit never gives up until the goal is completed. Find, embrace, and celebrate the warrior spirit within you. Indigenous social work. Indigenous social work. That's what I want you to do. Indigenous social work for the people. And here's switching a little bit to decolonization. This nasty word here. You go from the left, these are the characteristics of the good things that we can do to address decolonization. Resilience, pride, positivity, love, truthfulness, strength, culture and language, hope, representation, unity, confidence, coping, opportunity. This is our challenge to address decolonization. Go ahead. Okay, now I'm going to get real specific and just carry along with me about another 5-10 minutes. No, about 10 minutes. The circle. You know, just like I said, that we don't have to go back, and Crazy Horse already done told us what's going to happen. Sitting Bull told us what a warrior is. And this is the 7 grandfathers' teachings. This has been developed for many, many years. And it's applicable internationally throughout the world. The values are wisdom, love, truth, respect, bravery, humility, honesty. And the center of the circle is resilience, self, family, community, elders, society, and healers. Then it's broken up into 4 sections of different mental, intellectual, mind, spiritual, emotional, and physical. But just think of this like this big giant picture. I look at it all the time and I still can't comprehend how powerful and the content of what it means. Every time you look at it, you learn something. Okay, go to the next one. Now, our little team, Dr. Pico and Dana and Tamara and myself and Olitha, we've been having Zoom meetings and talking about developing our own traditional healing circle. What are the values? What do we want in this circle? So somebody take notes here. I'm going to ask you, and we're not going to break up into sessions, just yell it out. What values would you like to see in sustainable community health projects that you have? What education or indigenous health suggestions would you like to throw in the circle? Youth empowerment or cultural exchange? Take 10 minutes to discuss what your core values for each section. So just pretend this is a circle and you want to throw in what you just said. Some of you said good stuff, empathy, passion. Okay, just throw it out. We'll just list them. I'm not going to judge what you say. Just think, okay, what do I want in the circle as an indigenous social worker or to help the profession of social work evolve into a more culturally sensitive model. So look at the right side. Somebody throw out a word or a sentence. Healer. Who's taking notes? Lawyer, can you take notes? Oh, she's recording it. Okay, healer. What else? Prayerful action. I'm going to sit down right here. Go ahead. Come on, you guys are smart. You're smarter than me. Oh, that's a good one. Anybody else? Okay, a little louder. There you go. There you go. Okay, maybe 3 or 4 more. Come on. I came all the way from Flagstaff.
Ways to practice our indigenous healing ways.
Yeah! There you go. Anything else? Come on. There you go. Non-judgment. That's a good one, too. That's a good one. There you go. Anybody else? See, those are the kind of things. Make yourself think. Make yourself do stuff to understand yourself. Love. Of course, love, yes. Okay, so that's just kind of pick your brain, see what you come up with. We'll fill it in and we'll keep working on it over the next few weeks and try to come up with something good for this area here, for the people. Go ahead. Okay, now this is, I'm gonna talk to you from the heart. Oh shit. Okay, that's the right word. So, okay, this circle, that big circle I showed you, that smaller circle, which is San Diego, this is what I think would be real good for Native people, to create what we call a holistic healing circle. This can be done in the urban area, tribe, Indian center, hospital setting, wherever. And it's to combine Western medicine and traditional healing from an indigenous perspective, to provide a range of services, to truly recognize healing, and to make this service readily available to everybody. Go ahead. Oh, go back. Okay, so this picture, hopefully I don't fall here. This lower section right here, this picture, it starts from the east or the west. It goes to a sweat lodge, traditional dwelling. In this case, for Navajo, it would be a hogan. Whatever kumia or tribes want to build, they can do that. Then a teepee ground, then a shade house, and a fire pit, that circle. And then outside the circle is a community garden, a meeting room, kitchen, and bathroom, shower facility, and a campground. And this can be independent here, but you could also have a behavioral health facility built adjacent to it. And in this case, it would be traditional healing on the left and professional scientific behavioral health counseling on the right. So that's sort of my dream. I've been through social work and I'm retired when I was 68 years old. And I retired a couple years ago. I'm 68. What have I done all my life to come to this point? What can I do to help the people? And what I'm saying, like when I began my comment, I want to give this to you. Think about this. What if you had this in San Diego? What if you could go to a place to pray, put up your teepee, go to Medicine Man, have a shade house cookout, light that fireplace without the fire marshals, and do that anytime you want it, like on a weekend or a celebration, or have the little babies dance. You could always have it there for you in your environment. And it would, a lot of folks, they can't go walk outside and go sweat. You live in an urban area. You can't do it. You can't put up teepee. You want to run meeting, have prayer meeting, you can't do it. But what if you had a spot to do it? This spot on the left side, that's from 2 to 4 acres. And it can be modified, it can be changed. Now, I'm not a salesman. My son says, "Dad, don't bring that up. You can sound like a salesman." I'm not a salesman. The reason why I'm saying this is that when I worked for the Navajo Nation, they call it Sehotzal Medical Center, we had no Western medicine, and it's right in the middle of the Navajo Nation. And I was the legislative liaison for the state of New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah for Navajo Nation. Navajo was in 3 states. So they made me the legislative liaison. So I said, okay, I'm going to invent a plan where this can be funded, the traditional healing side. So we got all our tribes in Arizona, 22 tribes together. We went to Kathleen Sebelius. That time she was the head of Health and Human Services. And we demanded that these services be included in the Indian Health Service healthcare structure. So after years of months or maybe years of negotiating, they finally agreed. So right now in the Medicaid, Medicare rules in California and nationwide, traditional healing is a reimbursable service under the Indian healthcare system. And there's all kind of technical coding, medical coding, all that stuff. But I know all that stuff and I can do it. So if you want help, I'd be more than willing to help you to make this become a reality in San Diego. Go ahead. Now, these are the features. I already listed them. Organization, circular, sweat lodge, teepee ground, shade house, fire pit, community garden, conference room, kitchen, bathroom, campground. Go ahead. Now, and then on top of that, college level, bachelor's level, master's, PhD level. What if we created what we call the Kumeyaay Institute of Holistic Healing? That would be inclusive of social work, traditional healing, whatever way you want to create your holistic healing institute. And it could be affiliated with the university, could be affiliated with the tribe, with the government. You can do it. You can train young people, go to college, be social workers, be healthcare workers, be activists, be anything they want. So I submitted this document to Kumeyaay. I'm not sure when it was, but that's still wide open. And I'm willing to help you do that as well. Not as a salesman, but as a way within which we can present something to heal the people. Oh boy, I got 5 minutes to go and I'm going to finish this. Yes. Okay. It's a big legacy. I'll tell you, it's a real big legacy. Carrying on my dad's name. My dad was named Kenneth G. White Sr. And he went to 8th grade. He was a sheep herder. And the Bureau of Indian Affairs found him sheep herding, 13 years old. And they put him in 1st grade when he was 13 years old. And when he was in the boarding school system, he spoke Navajo. They did all the things everybody knows. Wash your mouth out with soap, pinch your fingers. They locked him in a metal shed for 3 days with no water. And when he opened that shed, he took off running for the hills. And he says, "Son, I never looked back. I took off running and I never looked back." And so from that time forward, he created what we call Tribal Employment Rights Program. That's Indian preference in hiring for all federal, state, and county governments, tribal governments. If you're a qualified Native American on Indian land, you get Indian preference for that job. And it came out to, eventually, it impacted over 400 tribes, and he created 300,000 jobs. My dad passed away in June 2018. So what, if your dad is that great, he did this whole thing, he was very humble. He did that. What do I do? What can I do to help carry on my dad's name in the Indian way, the way I want to, the way I believe, the way I understand social work, my compassion, my love for my people? How do I do it? So Tasha and I wrote this, and it surprised me. It popped up in my mailbox one day, which were in this book, came out a couple months ago. The Routledge International Handbook of Indigenous Resilience. And our little chapter is Igniting the Warrior Spirit to Address Historical Trauma Among Indigenous People. That's what I tried to do to live up to my dad. Go ahead. But this is what my dad did. From being put in first grade, 13 years old, creating tribal employment rights offices nationwide, 500 tribes, 300,000 jobs. My dad is in the social history of the United States. Library of Congress with Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Rosa Parks. There he is looking over my shoulder right there. I miss you, Dad. I miss you. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is that you as a social worker, no matter what difficulties you have, we all know how that goes. I always tell my son I've been around the block and through the alley too. So I know how it is not being able to pay rent, not having no groceries, no babysitter, no car, staying up late trying to do your homework, putting up with your family situations. All of that comes into play when you're going for it. But don't ever be discouraged, because the people, our Indian people, are so valuable, so important. We got to really, really give it all our got. And in my concluding remarks, I want to just say, out of all the tribes, this warrior spirit movement, it's international. Dana has the PACES website. It goes all over the world. We have another program called the Dene Trauma Project. It's for developing curriculum for first, second, and third graders to teach them Indian way of how to deal with trauma. So that's our little project we're going on for the little elementary school kids. But my point is, empower yourself. Empower yourself. And the final story, here I go, one more story. My uncle, his name is Matthew Nelson. He's a Native American church roadman. I was in 8th grade. We had the ceremony. At midnight, they pass you the smoke. You pray for yourself. Gave me that holy smoke. And then when they give it to you, they come right up to you. The fire, everybody's in a circle. It's a one-on-one. He gave that smoke to me, my uncle. And he said 2 words to me that I'll never forget. Gave me that sacred smoke. Realize yourself. My last word to you as Indigenous social workers, with all the love, compassion, empathy for you as an organization, all you young people that are making the effort, and then the San Diego State University with Tamara, our team here, Dana, Tamara, Dr. Pico, Olitha, Bobby, the others that are involved. Let's make that commitment. We're going to do something. I don't want to come to a conference and make a big talk, go home, and nothing happens. We got to do something. So make that commitment. Please realize yourself. Thank you.
That was so powerful in terms of the action that we often don't get to see and hear about, especially in our classrooms. We often hear about the trauma part. We don't hear solutions. So thank you for bringing us solutions and vision for the direction that our social workers can take back to their communities and work towards. So thank you so much again. Fantastic.